Welcome back, Tom Girls. Happy New Year. We are kicking off 2019 with a thrill ride. We have Sara Dinges, dual sport rider and adventurer, and we're going to talk moto and more. So stay tuned.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Let's ride. Hey guys, I have missed you so much these last 3 weeks. I hope your new year was amazing. I'm so excited that we are back in the saddle literally today, getting the show back started for 2019. So we have a really fun one today. I have been stalking this woman on Instagram for a very, very long time and trying to get her in here. So Sara Dinges, thank you so much for coming tonight.
Thank you for having me. I'm really excited.
Yeah, so all of you right now, before we get going, go to her Instagram, Dual Sport Women, so you can kind of scroll through and see what she's got while we get going. But just such a great Instagram page, everything, community you're building. But so you're a dual sport rider. Let's first start talking about how you got this adventure side to you. You know, how did you grow up being an adventurist, or where did this come from?
I always loved being outside. Like when I was a little kid, I was not inside. I was outside playing. And so it's just part of who you are when you want to be playing outside. And my dad took me everywhere outside to hike. We did scuba diving together. We did surfing together. So I kind of got that experience young, and it's kind of how I am today. It's how I am raising my kids too, to be like that. So we're just always trying to take them to see the world, be out in it, be in nature. Yeah.
Were you real like tomboy type girl as well?
I was. Like I played Barbies. I remember playing Barbies and had dolls, but for the most part, if it was a sport or it was outside, that's where I wanted to be. So I kind of had both sides. Honestly, I liked both things, and I still do.
Which is why that's what TomGirl. So you're perfect for this. 'Cause, you're the balance of having that tomboy rugged side and the girly girl.
Yeah, definitely.
And then you met your husband early on,
we did.
like in high school, right?
Yeah, we met in high school, and we were 18 when we met. We got married when we were 23, so we've been together for a while now.
And you guys are both teachers, so you've taken advantage of that schedule to get to do some adventuring together?
Honestly, that is pivotal, because having that time off is what gives us the ability to get to go do things. Really, we're kind of just the weekend warrior type. But we just had 2 weeks Christmas vacation now, and then we'll have a spring break, and we always try to take the kids somewhere. Or if we can't do that, then we'll definitely, in the summer camping, and we'll take them in the summer to get to go traveling around. Yeah.
And how did you first start getting into moto and riding?
So I never, ever in a million years imagined myself riding motorcycles. I grew up where motorcycles were dangerous. You shouldn't ride motorcycles. And I knew that. I knew that growing up. And then before my husband and I had kids, we would work all school year and then save our money and travel the whole summer. And we would be gone for 6 or 8 weeks at a time. And then when we had kids, that ended. It was just
cramped your style a little bit.
I know people travel with kids, and it's possible, but it just was expensive, and it didn't work out. So we had our kids. We were, kind of bored at home. Honestly, I know I was just sitting. Your days are sort of the same, and we were watching a movie randomly. It's called On Any Sunday. And I totally recommend it. It is by Bruce Brown. He's the he did Endless Summer.
Okay.
And it's in that 70s style. It's so fun. I don't know. I started watching that, and that's kind of what put the little light into my head of, oh, that looks fun. And then my husband had always ridden dirt bikes. So he was like, yes, that looks super fun. Let's do that as a family. And so he got me a little dirt bike, and he got my 2 kids dirt bikes. And so then we just, as a family, would go out for the day and ride around. And it really was fun. We had a blast doing that. But with the kids and everything, that adds like a whole nother level. Just remembering all their gear. You have to have 4 bikes that work, and having them, all ready to go, loading them. We had a special trailer that we had, and then there were a few times when my son was riding his little dirt bike, and he was seeing grown men on their bikes headed this way, and he, instead of, he was fixating on where he shouldn't go, but he rode straight right into them. Oh. And the first time we were like, oh my gosh. And then the second time I was like, okay, we got to take a little break from this, because we are okay taking that risk for ourselves, but then to put my kid into it. So that was when he was like 5. And then we got him another dirt bike, and now he rides around, and so he loves it. I mean, we love it. It's fun. It's good for them, but I wanted it to be safe.
Yeah.
Too. Yeah.
What kind of gear did you all start out on?
All the gear. Level? Yeah, like especially for the kids, we bought everything, and for myself too. I because I think I had that fear of motorcycles. Even now, I have never ridden a motorcycle without all the gear that I have. So when I'm riding dirt, I wear a chest protector. I wear elbow pads because I fall. I fall all the time. I wear now I wear knee braces. I used to just wear knee pads, but I tore my ACL. So
and that's a brutal injury. Yeah.
And knee braces.
You tore it riding, right?
Yeah, I tore it riding. And so I just used to wear knee pads, but now I have to wear knee braces. And they're boxy, they're uncomfortable, but I wish someone had told me back then to wear just not just knee pads. I wish I had known that, because then it would have prevented it. But and then big old riding boots for riding, and a helmet, of course. Yeah, and some people wear even a neck protector. So if you're doing like jumps or more aggressive riding, my husband wears where his neck can't go back, and I don't wear that, because I do chill riding now. Like I don't do anything hard. Yeah.
What was your first bike?
So my first bike was a little Honda 100. That's just the dirt bike, and that bike was smaller and really light, and I loved that bike. That bike was so fun. I really regret selling that bike. We sold it so that we could buy the dual sport bikes, but that bike was so fun. It was just light, easy, and I could push it up the ramp to the back of the truck by myself. I liked it, but my first bike that my husband got me was a beautiful Yamaha TW200, and that is a perfect first dual sport bike, because so a dual sport bike is a bike that you can ride on the street and the dirt. The dirt bike that I had, you couldn't. For us to get to go to ride dirt, we would have to put the bikes in the back of the truck and ride in our cars with the bikes in the truck, an hour and 30 minutes to Gorman. And with the dual sport, you could just cruise around on the street and the dirt. They are heavier, and there's good and bad to both. It's like you kind of want a dirt bike, you want a dual sport bike, and then you want a street bike. You want all the toys. Yeah, kind of. Like we always say, each person we each need 3 bikes. Yeah.
Kind of tell us about the evolution of that. How you started with the dirt, and then maybe how you started, why you wanted to start transitioning to others.
So after seeing the movie On Any Sunday, when I got on the dirt bike for the first time, I mean it's like one of those things that you have to experience to know how fun it is, because to me, I feel like it's like riding a horse, but you're in control, and you can just, I love it in the dirt, because you can just go wherever you want. Like you're like, well, what's over there? I want to know what's over there. And then you can just and it feels like you're flying, but it's bumped. I mean, it's just so much, it's so fun. And when you're just, the throttle feeling, I don't know, the whole thing, it's just a blast. And so when I first did it, I kind of knew right away. I was like, wow, this is like, how did I have a life not getting to do this before? This was what, I had to do this. And so we were just riding in the dirt for about a year. And then I actually fractured my ankle on riding in the dirt, but after I couldn't ride for a little bit of time, I realized, I was like, well, if I don't get a real bike that could go on the street, I'm never going to get to ride, because for us to get to go to Gorman, an hour and 30 minutes of a drive was taking so long, and it just was like I had to get another bike. So then we got the dual sport bike, and I got my motorcycle's license, which is kind of a scary process, because you have to go take the class, and it's a 3-day class, and you have to practice, and it gives you you're sort of ready for the road, but not I mean, the maximum speed you go in the motorcycle class is like 10 to 15 miles per hour. I was still really scared to ride on the road. And so I just practiced around my neighborhood a bunch. Like it took me a long time to even feel comfortable riding like 35 miles an hour. Just like I was scared. And then
there's quite a bit of traffic in LA,
yeah,
Los Angeles.
Yeah.
So it's
I think
that's a little nerve-wracking.
I think that's why I was attracted to dual sport too, because you're riding on like kind of back roads, like places where you feel that element of traffic isn't as scary. Like as I've ridden on the freeway once. I still haven't worked up to that yet. Yeah. And because people, they're crazy. Like people are texting, and I just am like, I don't know if this is safe for me.
Yeah.
Maybe one day.
And I've seen a lot, just driving in my car, a lot of really bad motorcycle accidents as well, which is the reason why I've always been scared to be on a motorcycle on the freeway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
I think like that's after I had torn my ACL and I couldn't ride on the dirt, now I'm kind of more comfortable on the street. And so that's why dual sport's so fun, because you can go to both, and you get they're such different skills. You have to be able to do such different things in both areas, and that's fun too to learn those.
Sure. And what are maybe some things that like you discovered in this process that surprised you, or that you didn't know to expect with this?
So much. When you're riding in the dirt, you fall all the time, and that falling and getting back up after a fall, that teaches you a lot about yourself. There's been times where I'm just like, I can't, I'm done, but then you pull it back and you get down, and you learn how to get back up after a fall. Really, you learn like how to not give up.
And how about there's a lot of risk taking. How's it been for your risk taking?
Definitely. Like, so it was just riding motorcycles I'm a mom. As a mom, there's voice, you have that voice in your head of what could happen. And like I had fractured an ankle, I tore my ACL. So things have happened. And I think that's a little bit part of, I don't want to call it part of the fun, but part of going into it that it's not necessarily the safest endeavor, but that feeling of, I don't know, something about that keeps you focused when you're riding. And when you're riding, you're just riding. You're not really, you're so focused on that there's something that is that's addicting. Yeah,
a real rush.
A
right?
little bit, yeah.
Well, yeah. How has that rush kind of, or that feeling grown like over the years and through as you get better and better and push yourself more?
I would say there's parts of that feeling I like, and then there's parts of that feeling that I like in a way that it warns me for other parts in your life too. Like it teaches you to learn to listen to that inner voice that you have of like, I can make it down this. Or no, I shouldn't go down this huge hill because I just have a feeling. So you kind of learn to listen to that inner voice of what you can, when to push yourself and when not to push yourself, and when to just be happy where you are. Yeah.
Well, and I bet you also do, when you do push or you get through like something bigger too, it probably gives you that like courage and empowerment to do that in all aspects of your life.
It totally transfers over, because it just gives you that, like, you're like, I know you kind of have a way, that you'll be able to solve whatever is in front of you. Yeah.
And it has to just flat out feel just kind of badass to be like in the gear and on the bike and stuff, right?
Something about motorcycles. I don't know what it is, but it is. It's just fun, and it gives you that feeling that there really isn't a feeling that's similar to it. Because I surf, I rock. It's not the same. Yeah, it's just not the same. Like motorcycles has that extra thing about it, and that until you do it, it's just one of those things. Like everyone should try it.
Yeah. And I know you have a son too, but I want to talk about the girl, because like how awesome is it to like see your little girl out there and be teaching her, raising her, and that to have that adventurous spirit as well.
She does. She totally has that adventurous spirit. She loves like riding too when she was younger. She would try and do little jumps and everything, and she was adorable to watch. But she's getting to see, just through all the stuff that we've been, doing, she gets to see now girls working together and solving things and helping each other out. And yeah, I think that's really good for her to get to see.
Very good.
Yeah.
So let's talk about kind of then how you found that there wasn't quite the platform out there for you to see other dual sport riders. So talk about creating your Instagram.
So after I got my first dual sport bike, I just was going, this was a few years back, and I was just going on to Google and typing in girl dirt bike rider, and there, some of the things that you saw on there weren't representative of what I imagined myself as a rider. And then in the world of dual sport, it is a smaller element to, most people either ride just dirt or just street. The dual sport combines both, and it's not as big as the other two platforms. And so I just was looking well, there isn't this out there, so I'll make a page. Honestly, I thought I would maybe be lucky to have in my mind, I was 80 people would be really cool. If there's 80 people out there, well, let's just see what happens. And so I put up a few of my photos here and there, and then I would see other girls on their motorcycles, and then I would just send them a message saying, is it okay if I share your photo? And everyone always said yes.
Yeah.
And then I always try to send a sticker to people if they let me share a dual sport women's sticker, just because I think thank you for letting me see your, and just through that interaction, I got to meet a lot of different people through talking to them on Instagram. Yeah, so it was a really fun thing to see. This is popular. People do really like it, and I think girls want to see other girls. I knew I wanted to see real girl riders. How do they ride? Where do they go? What gear do they wear? I wanted to see what were their faces like, not how did they represent themselves.
Yeah. No, I think it's great because it's you said you wanted to know that every girl could start out and do this and pick up a bike and try it. And I love that, reading that about you, and that your goal for this too, because it is intimidating when you look at these pictures of people that they're already great, or they know so much, and you're well, it looks really cool, but I have no idea where to start or how to do it. So do you get a lot of people asking you also in the community, helping each other, where to start out, how to gear and all?
Now honestly, through Instagram, now we, the girls who do ride, we have found each other, and there are some just badass girls out there. There are girls doing things on their bikes that would just blow your mind. The places they go and the obstacles they overcome on their bikes are amazing. So through Instagram, we all sort of found each other, and now it is a community, total community. And motorcycle people are my favorite people. They are fun. They help each other. They are just my favorite group of people to be around. Yeah.
Tell me about some of the events, because I know you've been to Babes Ride It Out and Babes in the Dirt and those kind of things, and have had some great experiences at those events. So share some of your experiences or favorite stories from those, and let people know kind of what those events are.
So for when I had the dirt bike, I sometimes looking back, I feel how did I do that? I found Babes in the Babes Ride Out on Instagram, and I didn't know anyone. I'm a teacher, my daily life, I know no other women that ride. And Babes Ride Out had an event called Babes in the Dirt, and it was for dirt bike girls. And I was well, if I don't go, I'll never meet anyone for sure. So but it was so scary to have to, I didn't know anyone. I showed up. I knew that I had to unload my bike by myself, and I was so scared, because just the idea, I'm shy, to have to go to an event and make friends. I don't know, it just seemed overwhelming to me.
Well, and it's camping out for 3 days, right?
Yeah.
2 or 3 days.
And so I didn't even camp out to the first one that I went, because I was I don't know what this is. So, and plus also I think when you know, meeting people that you met online, always there's that element of like, what is this? Do you know what I mean? You don't know if it's safe. And this was like 3 years ago. So it was, you know, now
fairly new. Yeah.
Now it kind of is, it seems more normal. But so I showed up to that, and I parked next to these girls, and they were so cool. They had the same truck as me, and we just literally, I hopped out of the car and we just started. It was like, that's what I would say about the community. Instant, like, especially dirt bike people, they will help you like that. Because in order to, especially as girls, it is harder to unload the bike and do it all by yourself. We all have to help each other. That's how we get it up and down out of the truck. And they just helped me right away. And then we just started talking, and we rode all day together, and they were the coolest girls. They were fast. And I knew so I am not a good rider. I am so slow, and I'm just like, I ride because I want to see what's out in nature.
Explore.
And that's not that. Most people ride because they want to just, like, they like speed, and they're just, the girls I rode with that day, they just shred. I mean, they were good. And I thought, well, okay, I'll go fast then too. No, it was, going fast is not for me. That's how I got hurt each time. And so now I just, you know, I kind of putt around and I have fun. But so that time I didn't even camp with them. I went for the day, but I ended up, it was great because I fractured the ankle, so I had to go home anyways. But that event sort of changed my thinking. I didn't know that you could show up and a group of girls would just be like, hey, I'll help, you know, like that right there. And then all the girls, at the Babes in the Dirt, they have these mini bike races, and the girls just talk and hang out and drink beers, and it's so fun. And so I was hooked right away. I was just like, oh, well, this is interesting. These are really cool, interesting people.
I pulled a few pictures of you from This is because one of the first things I found was Babes in the Dirt too, and Babes Ride Out, and I thought, you know, I had kind of talked to people about riding because I had, you know, way back in Nebraska, ridden on some farms and stuff. I didn't know anything like this existed, and then I saw their Instagram feed as well, and it was just like, it just looks so like such a great fun community. Everybody, all the girls riding together, then just kicking back, having their beers, then listening to the concert, and just looked like a great community.
It really is. And the camaraderie there when you're riding dirt bikes, you go off the trail, you fall, everyone just hops off their bikes and helped you. I mean, it's like you don't experience it in other sports. It really is special.
Does it probably feel good to have the group riding with you too? I mean, sometimes does it get fearful if you're ever like riding out by yourself, and if you were to have an accident like that and you'd be stuck there or something?
It's like double edged. Riding by yourself is so fun because you can go your own speed. You know, you don't have to. Like for me, when I ride with people, honestly, I'm probably the worst rider in the group, and so they're all fast, and I always feel so bad because they're waiting for me everywhere. And when I ride by myself, I'm just, you know, I'm on my own little fun thing. But yeah, if you're in the dirt, it's really actually pretty dangerous to go by yourself because you can eat it at any point, you know. So I don't really ever. I'll ride street by myself, but I don't really ever ride dirt by myself. So that's it. We need each other in the dirt. I think that's a big part of it.
How is it to watch this community of like female riders kind of grow and get bigger? Because like your accounts just keep getting more and more, like all of yours, you know. So how fun is that?
Oh, it's so fun, and there's more. Like what I love to see is that there's more girl. Other ones popping up too, and then they meet up to ride. Like there's one we're riding in February, Dirt Ladies. Those riders are amazing. I mean, those girls are shredders. They just they can do stuff that just blows my mind. And so we're meeting up at Gorman in February to ride with them. And that, I mean, before I would only ride with my husband, and now there's like a group of girls that plan stuff, and they go and meet up, I love that.
I'm gonna get you Dirt Ladies in here too if you're watching. Because I've been on that little Instagram chat too, and I'm like, I just want to come out and film you guys too, and just watch for a day too.
Come to Babes in the Dirt. So Babes in the Dirt is happening in April.
Okay.
And that one's really fun. It's so fun. Yeah. Awesome. They're just like, you walk around and every girl you just want to talk to because they're interesting people, and they're just like girls that you don't meet all the time. They're badass chicks.
And talk about too, I think it's interesting, everybody's from like different walks of life or different careers in their day jobs.
Right.
So how fun is that to have a mixture?
You talk about like how what you think, people, you have this idea of what people maybe who like motorcycles are like, and it reaches all walks of life. Several other teacher friends are they ride motorcycles, and a pilot I know, nurses. I have a firefighter friend, so it's just really fun to see. These are the women that are leading the way in many different areas. Yeah.
Where are some other areas where you would like to ride?
Oh my gosh, so many. Like, so when we had first started riding, we had an RV, and we put one of the bikes on the back, and we took our kids on a 30-day trip up to the Tetons and back, and we hit all the parks. And at that point, I was a new rider, and I didn't ride as much as now I would. And just like I all of Colorado, Utah, like all St. George, Moab, all those places are on the list. I would say Idaho. There's so many places. British Columbia. Yeah, like now when it's kind of weird. When we were younger, all of our trips had to be by the ocean. We're just like, if we're going on a vacation, we don't go to cities. We had to be by the beach, like one way or the other. And now we're like, well, we have to bring our bikes with,
Yeah, where can we ride?
Yeah. So, and that's always tricky too, because when we travel and we camp with the kids and everything, one of us stays with the kids. So then we are riding alone. So then it is that's when we're kind of like, that's when it is a little scary. So, because one will be with the kids and the dog at the campsite, and the other person gets to go. So we take turns.
Balance it out. Yeah. Talk a little bit about, I know one thing we brought up when we were discussing before, about how, as a mother, keeping your like identity in your own persona through raising children and family.
Yeah. So I think that was a huge part of why actually I was probably attracted to motorcycles, was just that when you get on a motorcycle, the like immediate feeling of freedom and like this like wild feeling comes up in you, and you don't always get that, going to work, being a mom and all that. Like you feel a little, you feel like that's not always there, but I mean, it's like instant. You just get up and go, and it's just like this like joy happens. And on the downside though is I obviously I don't think people are, they're just worried for your safety, but you do get a lot of comments, and not everyone understands that. Like, I ride, and I know a lot of other moms that ride because we want to maintain that feeling of like, well, we matter too, we get to have fun too. And so when you ride, you kind of get to forget about the other stuff, and you get to maintain that feeling of individuality and freedom.
Yeah. And I'm sure, because I'm sure, I mean, it's hard with, family and kids and just the day to day in and out. Right. There's so much involved but it's just juices up your spirit, you know?
Yeah, I think it's that like little shot of adrenaline that, you get in little doses. And I mean, something about it just like keeps you waiting for the next time that you get, like in my mind, I'm like, well, I didn't ride this. That's how I am with going to the beach too. Like in my mind, I'm like, well, I have to go to the beach like once a week. If I don't go to the beach once a week, I don't feel right. And motorcycles are the same way too. Like I have to ride, like if I don't ride once every 2 weeks, because when I tore my ACL, I didn't get to ride for like a good 6 months. And I think too, when you're having like, when you're pregnant with your kids, your sports and all your activities kind of slow down. So what it's like to sit on the side, on the sidelines. Yeah. And that's really hard for me. Like I want to be in the midst of whatever is happening. So motorcycles, we just find a way to work it in. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So let's, for the new people out there or want to get into this sport, what would you say would be like where they should start? Like maybe a bike recommendation, or like what kind of things they need to just get started doing this?
I would say definitely at Babes in the Dirt, they have where you can demo, you can try out a Husky. The Husqvarna bikes, they have all sorts of different, for heights too. So a lot of us girls were not as tall, and the bikes, like I had to have my KTM lowered. So, and I'm decently tall, but and when you get to go to Babes in the Dirt, they have different bikes for you to sit on, and they'll let you ride it and take it out. And so that is an awesome opportunity. Also at Babes in the Dirt, they have it where you can rent dirt bikes, so you can just try it out. And a lot of the times too, like if a girl wants to sit on my bike and ride my bike, I'll say go for it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like these bikes are pretty tough, and so people are really nice, but you know, like that's not always common. Sometimes people don't want to share their bikes too. You know? It just depends.
Yeah.
But so if you want to ride, I would say start on the dirt and maybe work up to dual sport, because dirt you kind of just could, you know, try it out. If you fall, usually you're okay. The thing with the dual sports is they're heavier, and so you have to be like, you know,
used to it.
Yeah,
kind of
you
like,
do.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I dirt bikes probably would be definitely the way to go, where you get that, you know, you get to try it out, and then if you enjoy that, you can get your motorcycle's license and just you know, ride around. And it takes like it is not anything that you're good at right away. Like it's I still feel like I have so much to learn, and it's a lot about confidence too. And yeah, I'm working on all of that. Yeah,
that's fantastic.
Yeah, the injuries kind of set me back a lot. Just you know, not getting to ride for that length of time, and then just that now I kind of have the fear of getting injured again. Yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I did an ACL too.
You
And
did?
I did, and not from this, from basketball. But it's a long time
is
to
a
be
long
on the
time,
sideline, and it's hard
right?
to. And it does.
Yeah.
I now think of it like if I'm snow skiing, or if I'm. It's hard. It creeps
Yep.
back in your head a
Yeah.
lot, because you know you don't want to go through that 6
No,
months
right?
of healing again.
Yeah. I know, it was a long time. Like, you know, when I did my fractured the ankle, I was like 3 months, and that was not that bad at all. But and then really I couldn't really ride till like 9 months. So I know.
That's a long
I don't want to
time.
do that again.
Yeah.
So I think I lost that. I'm much more hesitant now, and much more like I try to be way more safe, and I probably have to work through that. Like I haven't overcome that at all. You know, but I met a guy it's so fun when you're riding. We were up in Santa Barbara riding dual sport, and we were on the trail, and we met another dual sport rider, and that's why it's so fun. Like if you see someone on dual sport, you always stop to say hi, because you're on the same type of bikes. And he was saying that he had a friend that crashed his bike and he tore his ACL, and then he never rode again. So I don't know. I know I'm slow, and I'm not at all, you know, a good rider, but I was like, well, hey, I'm back on the bike, you know.
I don't believe that you're not a good rider, first of all, at all. But good for you for getting back on and pushing through it. You know,
and I think that's part of it, is that you do really learn, get back up, try it again. Don't give up on it, you know. Because if you love it, you love it. Like
Yeah. Fantastic.
I know.
All right. Well, I'm going to ask you a couple more questions, but real quick, we do a tradition here of we do a TomGirl of the week. So this week, since we do talk fashion here sometimes too, and we had the Golden Globes, I had to pick my TomGirl of the week was beautiful Regina King, because she just looked stunning and amazing, and she won for Best Supporting Actress in a Film for her work in If Beale Street Could Talk. And in her speech, she also promised that in anything that she produced coming up, that she would have 50% women in her cast crew, in her productions. So, and she also threw out the challenge for that everybody in all businesses across the land to do that in their businesses as well. So very, very inspiring speech that she gave that night. So she's the TomGirl of the week. All right, so back to you here. What's next for you in the Instagram community or your writing? Like, how's the year looking for you?
You know, so for us teachers, we're always like, where are we going to go next? And I think over spring break, Utah is like the riding there is just so pretty. That's on my list of where I'd like to go. Our kids' spring break isn't the same as our spring break, so I don't know if that's going to work out. But in the summer, maybe I don't know. We'll see. We're always right this time of the year is when we start planning what we're going to do for our summer. So we'll probably get some travels in and get some riding in. But for the we have Babes in the Dirt in April. That'll be really fun. That's always a good time. And then in October will be Babes Ride Out. And then just getting to meet different girls. We ride, like, I would say, just sort of, we send messages to each other and be like, we'll be at Gorman this weekend. And pretty much from now until, like, it's pretty cold there and a little snowy, but pretty good riding weather. Not the dirt is good. The weather's cold. But so we'll be riding on the weekends here and there. And just getting out and supporting other women who are doing this sort of thing too, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and helping each other.
How, if other people, if they wanted to get in contact with you or join some of these rides, how could they do that?
Send me a message.
Instagram
yeah,
direct message?
Definitely. Usually before we head out, I'll put up like a little thing of where we're headed, because I always think it's fun if you're going to be there and I'm going to be there, like, come say hi to us. So, I wish I could be more of a person who puts on events or organize things. And I don't have my act together at all, just between working, being a mom.
You got a lot going on.
Yeah. So, like, and I had volunteered for the Babes in the Dirt and the Babes Ride Out. And it's a lot. I see what those girls go through in organizing those events, and they're amazing. Like, those events are already like they're the coolest events. The last Babes Ride Out, they set it up where they had a rock climbing, and like I got to ride my motorcycle to go rock climb. Like, they think of everything. Those events, I would say, those are the events that to go to, because I can't imagine they just make it so that it's amazing that would be the one. Like, I it's how they do it just sort of blows my mind.
Yeah. And
I can never do anything like that. Like, I wish I could, because I like actually just kind of getting to ride with, whoever wants to ride, but on small, like it's fun to ride on the weekends too, where it's just for fun. So things like that is like what I like to do too.
Yeah. Well, I love, like, in your pictures too, like, I think we have one of you here paddleboarding, and then we have a shot of you. I mean, that is just gorgeous. Where was that at?
So that was when we had the dual sport bike on the back of the RV, and then we had the paddle boards. That's up in Jenny Lake in the Tetons.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So that's how we spend our summers, is just paddling on lakes and riding. We did that this last summer. We did Tahoe, and we just try to hit everywhere. Because I mean, that place was beautiful. That was just gorgeous, and so just more of that.
Yeah.
I know.
I just love how there you are rock climbing. So yeah, I love just all the adventures, Seeker and you, and it's great. And you, real quick, the truck that you said that you need if you want to pack, like, your bike in, and that's called what?
So we had when we bought the RV, it was an epic fail for us. Like, it was expensive. I don't know. The city that we live in, we couldn't park it in our own driveway. It was crazy. Like, we were off by this much. It wasn't hanging over, but they said, "Oh, you can't park it in your driveway." And so, we needed a smaller car. So I traded in my car, and we got a Mercedes Sprinter van. And we can fit 3 bikes in there. We have, like, when the bikes aren't in there, we have a cot in there, and we keep our surfboards in there. And my husband and I can surf on our lunch break, which is like, we work like 2 minutes from the beach. So at lunch, we just go quick, really surf.
Lunch, that's fantastic.
Yeah. So it just makes the day go by that much faster, So you're just having fun, and you get out, and it's awesome. So that van has totally helped us. Like, that van was a total game changer for us. It made things easier. And we didn't have to deal with a lot of the things that the RV, it's smaller. It's what I drive every day. I love that thing. I love it. So that really has made it where we can just go really
Yeah.
quick. Yeah. And camping in it is fun, and we all 2 people can sleep in it. So if we bring the kids, they'll have a tent, or we'll have a tent, and so it just makes it kind of a little bit easier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I could talk to you all day. I know I'm out of time because there's just so many questions, but thank you so much for coming. You're so much
Thank
fun,
you
and I
for having
can't
me.
wait. Of course, anytime you're welcome.
Thank you.
And I can't
loved
wait
it.
to keep following all the looking for new
Awesome.
shots and follow you. So tell everybody again, where they can follow you at.
Sure. So it's Dual Sport Women, and we're on Instagram, and a lot of other women groups are on there. Dirt Ladies, Babes Right Out, Babes in the Dirt. Awesome. Yeah.
Guys, I can't tell you enough. Check out these communities. They're just fantastic and some great, awesome women with some incredible shots on their feed. So thank you so much for joining us for this first show in the new year. I'm looking forward for a real fun year with you guys. So we'll see you again next week. Bye.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.